You want to go first?
This is the one, yeah. That one, just don't lose that, because you need that tomorrow. And then, last one is Bennett. Got you right here. So do me a favor, Ms. Bennett. Print your last name, first name, no initial, okay there. And then the middle column is going to be your reason for visiting us tomorrow. There's some examples listed there for you to use. The last one is going to be your home of residence, city and state. And then once you're through with that, I'll take your temperature, I'll tell you what the number is, we'll record that in the temp column. I'll ask you a few questions, and then you'll be good to go, okay? And then just need you to write your city and state of your home residence, please. Temperature. Okay, go ahead and write down 97.3, please. I'm going to ask you 4 questions, and when you're done, you'll be good to go, okay? Listen to the question in its entirety before you answer yes or no. Question 1, do you currently have or have you had in the past 14 days any symptoms such as fever, chills, sore throat, muscle aches, loss of taste or smell, cough, chest pain, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, nausea, vomiting, or headache?
No.
No? Okay. Have you traveled outside the United States or gone on a cruise in the past 14 days?
No.
Have you been diagnosed with or been in close contact with anyone who's been diagnosed with COVID-19 in the past 14 days?
No, sir.
Okay. And the last one, have you been asked to self-quarantine by any doctor, hospital, or health agency in the past 14 days?
No, sir.
Okay. Please put on a mask, blue on the outside, white on the inside. While you're here at the hotel, that needs to be worn. You do not need it while you're in your room since you will be bumping by yourself. Okay. However, you will need it again tomorrow morning when you come in for your early morning temperature check and while you're processing at the MEPS tomorrow. Okay? So just exit the door as you came through, exit down the hallway on your left, go all the way down, make it right into the tent room, and check in at the Freedom Zone.
Important things, you can pick up dinner in this room at 6:30, and you must be back here at 8 p.m. for a briefing. Okay. All good, enjoy your snack. Feel free to sign in. You guys are ready to get back to your rooms, come out in the hall, hang it ready, and Follow that pole up into a big open atrium. Elevators are right in the middle.
Alright. See you later.
All right.
Alright.
You have a good one. Put your stuff away and don't miss dinner.
Don't miss the briefing. I'll hang on to your
Yeah. Briefing is the most important part.
If you miss your dinner, it's no big deal. I'll just eat your dinner.
Hey, double portion of chicken strip.
Nasty box of this.
That's how I want to spend the Cinco de Mayo.
You know what? I didn't even realize it was Cinco de Mayo. Oh man. Should be at a restaurant drinking a margarita right now.
There was a meme where you had Rod Serling from the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
He goes, imagine if you celebrating Cinco de Mayo.
You got Chardonnay on it? Yeah, it should be a nice night. Screwing everything up. It seems like in this area has a lot of places. Checking in? So before I check you in, we got a house screen for you. Okay. So you come on back out of the hall, all the way down to the left, and it's the first door on the right hand side. So you're good with that. Sign in for you. Two. In the smaller box to the right of your signature, put down 224.
The briefing will give you instruction on what will happen tomorrow. Okay? All right, have a good one.
Easy. this is my hotel room. It has this little curtain, which I can see out in the hallway, barely, but I can see out in the hallway. I forgot where we were staying. Oh, right there. That's where we're staying. It's got couches, microwave with some drawers, a fridge, if I can get it. Oh my gosh, you serious? I was grabbing the wrong part of the fridge. Fridge, big mirror, coffee pot, sink. Oh, here's some more lighting. And the bathroom. Oh my gosh, look at this. They have freaking Neutrogena crap here. That is so cool. I don't know what this is. This is a blow dryer. Oh, it says hair dryer right on it. The tub. That's cool. They got Neutrogena crap here. Little mirror. That opens into a safe, which I probably won't use. And there anymore. Again, I won't use. Here's my room. Coat hanger. Alarm clock. A very fancy alarm clock. Another mirror with some plug-ins, stool, a TV, whatever that thing is. And then my view. Pups. So, the heater just made a funny noise. So we have dinner at 6:30, and then we have a briefing tomorrow at 8. I wish it wasn't at 8 because I wanted to go to bed at 8. I guess it depends on what time I have to wake up tomorrow. I watched one video. One girl said that she had to get up and be ready by 4:30. Like, she had to be ready by 4:30. They were gonna send her a wake up call at 4, and she had to be ready by 4:30. And then my recruiter said that it might be 5 o'clock. He said I most likely have to get up around 5 o'clock. But we have a briefing tonight at 8, and dinner at 6:30. Our dinner options were a burger and fries, chicken tenders or chicken nuggets, one of those things, and then a Caesar salad, and I went for the Caesar salad. Sorry if I keep touching my face. I don't know why, but like my nose is just being stupid. But we had to pick up our dinner at 6:30. I don't know if everyone's gonna be eating in there, but if I can, I plan on bringing my meal back to my room so I can study a little more because I have to be taking ASVAB. But yeah, and I already filmed the video of the room. We did stop at the Albertsons. We did get lots. I got 3 waters. Apparently I had to take a urine test at my recruiter's office before I even came up here. And so I was really nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, like. And not only that, there were only 2 guy recruiters there, so it was just like, I'm just like, the guy is gonna be my pee. It's really, really weird. But thankfully it wasn't totally discolored. I had been sipping on a Dutch Bros Rebel, so I had to go. So it was good. And I have seen so many videos. I'm gonna set you guys down because my arms are getting tired. If I can figure out a spot where I can set you guys, there we go. I've seen a couple videos where people have been worried that they couldn't fill up the cup as much. Maybe the ones they use here are a little bit bigger, or taller cups. The other one was just like the width of my hand. Like if I put my hand like this, like I could go all the way around it. So it's just like, it's just with my hand. So it wasn't that big and filled it up, but then again, I also had a little over half of this. This was a medium. So I had a little over half of that. So I passed it. Obviously, I passed it. So I'm not sure. So anyways, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we got my water, and I'm just gonna put it in this. So we got 3 waters. I'm planning on drinking one of these tonight. I'm actually halfway through the first bottle, but I'm gonna drink lots of water tonight. And then probably quite a bit of water in the morning before I leave, so that way I know I will be able to do my my second urine test. So yeah. Anyways, I got 3 waters. I couldn't find veggie straws. I finally found them. Well, these ones are called veggie sticks, but same thing. And then, so that's what you guys are propped up against. And then I didn't know what the breakfast situation was gonna be, but I know that a lot of, it's gonna sound gross, but a lot of stuff gives me gas. So I usually don't eat a whole lot of breakfast foods. So I got this chocolate. I actually thought I got peanut butter. This was in the peanut butter box, but I got apparently a chocolate chip Gatorade protein bar. Because I don't know what the breakfast situation is going to look like, and it's almost 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna have to leave in a little bit to go get my dinner. But that's what I'm gonna snack on in the morning for breakfast, in case I don't want to eat anything for breakfast, or whatever they have for breakfast just isn't filling enough for me. At least I'll have some protein. Basically protein, it's a protein bar. But that is it. I am gonna go get ready to study for a couple minutes, and then I'm gonna go and get my dinner and come back. Hopefully I can come straight back and eat while I'm studying. I hope I can bring my dinner up here so I can eat while I study. But yeah. See you later, pups. All right, pups. So I'm about to head down for my dinner. We were told that if we go anywhere in the hotel besides our hotel room, we have to wear these masks. I've already taken my earrings out because my recruiter said that, my recruiter said that we can't have any piercings, and he never said anything about my collar, but I will be taking that off and putting on that little sunstone I showed y'all in my packing list, which reminds me I still have to edit that. But yes, so let's go get some dinner. I doubt I'll film anything of me going to get dinner. I might film me with my dinner when I bring it back, so. Okay, pups, so I just got back, and that was really super quick. I literally have my computer up for, so I can study for my ASVAB, and my computer didn't even go to sleep in the time that I was gone. I literally walked out of my room, went down the elevator. I'm just on the 2nd floor, so it was really nice, quick trip down the elevator. I hate elevators. I am terrified of them. I'm not terrified, but I hate elevators. I just hate them. But I went down to the 2nd floor. I could see some kids walking back from getting their dinners, and so I'm like, okay, I'm not, totally the last one down the stairs, Anyway, so I got down there. I went to get my dinner, and I actually found what I thought was yogurt spilled all over the floor. And so I got down there, and the guy who checked us in to give us our key cards was just like, hey, you picking up dinner? And I'm like, yep. He just asked me what I ordered, and I told him I ordered the Caesar. Sorry, my hair's in my face. I ordered the Caesar salad. And so he's like, all right. And so he walked me over to this little fridge. He said their Caesar salads are right there. And then if you like ranch better than Caesar, whatever the Caesar ranch is, it's right up there on top. And I'm like, okay, cool, great. And so I grabbed a ranch, and then they had a couple different pops. They had Coca-Cola, Diet Coca-Cola, and then Sprite, I think like apple and orange juice. And I was gonna get a Sprite, but then I decided I was gonna get Coca-Cola. And then on my way back from getting my Oh, and then I had to hunt down a fork. Anyways, but then when we were coming back, when I was coming back to my hotel, I think I just heard my neighbor. I don't know if I have a neighbor or not, but I thought I just heard one. I was coming back from getting my lunch to go to the elevator, and I met the kid who spilt his food, and he was just like, hey, be careful walking back, I'm like, yeah, I saw it on the way over here. And he's like, yeah, I was walking and my ranch just slid right off the top of my tray, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And he got the guy who was helping all of us to clean up to get like a little caution wet floor sign, which is weird because it's carpeting, but just to get people from not stepping in it. So yeah, here's my salad. So yeah, now I gotta eat that, and I gotta get a crap ton more studying done, and I have to go back down, and so it's almost 6:40, 7, 8. I almost have to go down in about an hour and a half, 2 hours to do our briefing for tomorrow. Apparently, where we're doing MEPS is just across the road somewhere. I don't know. I know there's a building right over here, and I think that's what it is, but I just plan on getting up extra early so I can get done. I don't know if we have to take all of our bags and whatnot down. I was told at one point we did. Or not, I was told. I saw in a video that one girl, they had to take all their bags down, but they were also taking a bus to wherever their MEPS were gonna be. So I don't know how that's gonna work for us. We might be able to leave all of our stuff here and then come back over when our MEPS are done. I doubt it, because usually my grandparents own a motel, so they usually want to get, the maids want to clean the rooms as soon as possible. I don't know if, because of the virus, it's going to be the same, where we're going to have someone come in and right behind us to check into our rooms. I doubt it, unless it's like, the first responders and everything. But yeah. So, my bag's not, I showed you guys what bag I was bringing in my packing video. It's not terribly big. It was a little heavy because I had snacks, and I had my computer, and I had 3 jugs of water in it. So, I hope it's not too big. I didn't see any other kids coming in, besides the kid who rode in with us, but she just brought a backpack. But, let's be honest, girls pack a lot more crap. Which actually I didn't pack a whole lot of crap. I could have packed it in a smaller bag, but I was all like, no, I need to pack because I need to go to bed. But anyways, I'm rambling. So I will let you guys know what happens next at our briefing. All right, see you pups later. Okay, pups, so I just had my first panic attack. I also realized that I need to be charging my phone. I have to go down for a briefing in an hour, and I was, as you guys just saw, I was time-lapsing myself, eating my salad, drinking my pop, and studying. And I went to go turn my time-lapse off of my phone, and I was being so stupid. I had it stacked up against a full cup of Caesar ranch, and then on top of that was an empty container that had my ranch and I used in my salad. And I had bumped it just wrong, and it fell, and I had ranch on the side of the desk and on the floor and a little bit on the wall. And I was like, well, crap. So if this happens to you, do not panic. get paper towels or toilet paper or tissues. I used tissues because it was the easiest thing for me to grab. Clean it all up from wherever it is. Clean it up as best you can. Try and get all the ranch up off of it. Now we're gonna have stickiness. So what you do is you go to your bathroom and you get like a little washcloth. You get it wet. You get it really wet with warm water. Ream it out a little bit, and then just scrub wherever the ranch was with that. And the warm water will lift the stickiness up. And as you can see now, you can't tell where I spilled the ranch. I got a little bit right here. You can kind of see little darker shades right here. Maybe you can't, but I can see it. It's darker right here. And I got some on the edges, which maybe you can, yeah, you can definitely tell where I wiped it off. Because there's so much dust back here. Obviously they don't dust back here. But yeah, it's all nice and clean. There's no ranch anywhere. It just slightly smells of Caesar in here. But I mean, what are you gonna do? Caesar ranch. But yeah, if you guys spill your ranch, don't worry, just do that. Now if you have something else and for some reason it doesn't lift, try something. But warm water should do the trick. It's like with wine. You just dab it with a warm, wet cloth. I believe it's a warm, wet cloth. I don't drink wine, so don't quote me on that. That's all you gotta do. See pups in a minute. All right, pups, we're headed out again. We're gonna go to our briefing. It's at 8 o'clock. It's 7:52. We're gonna head down there a little earlier. So yeah, I got quite a bit of studying done. Happy with my progress. I got my stuff laid out for tomorrow. Probably just gonna go to the briefing depending on what time I have to get up at. I'm gonna come back, take a shower, and then just decompress, probably do my mask, and go to bed. So I'll see if I can. Looks like I wasn't the only one who decided to go down early. I just saw a couple other kids coming down.
He's in 201? 202? Okay. 208? 209? This should be Etha, 209. Missing 210?
Here.
211?
Here.
224? Should and 225. Awesome. On to the gentleman in 301. Oh, 302? Here. 303? Here. 304? Here. 305? Should be 305 is his last name Wang. Missing 306. Here. 307. Should be Bradley. Bradley Crouchshoe. Here. There he is. 309. Here. 310. Here. 311. 312. Here. 314. So 314 is Mickey. No Mickey. 412. Should be Ryan. Thank you. 415 is Arturo Morales. No Arturo. 416. Here. 417. 418. Here. 420. 426. Here. 427. Here. And 428. Here. Alright. So I got some wake up calls to make when you guys watch this movie. This is going to cover all of MEPS' rules and regs. It should only take about 5 minutes. We watch it really good. Back to it. This thing just won't let me pull the movie up. It will just say screw it. There it is. Alright. I'm gonna make some wake up calls. I'll be right back.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Freedom Club. Let me be the first to congratulate you on taking the first step into joining the world's finest military. We here at the Freedoms Club work for MEPS, not the hotel. So if you have any issues while you are here, please bring it to one of us.
Upon your arrival, we had you read the commander's welcome letter. I'm going to go over some of these rules just to make sure everyone understands. First, if you are leaving the property today for any reason, you must sign out on the sign-out sheet. And remember to sign back in when you return. This helps us with accountability. Do not give your room key or room number to anyone. No one is allowed upstairs, on your floor, or in your room. It is you and your roommate only.
Sexual harassment will not be tolerated here. If you feel you are the victim of sexual harassment, go to www.safehelpline.org or call the number at the bottom of the commander's welcome letter. Homeland Security requires us to tell you, if you see something, say something. Safety is everyone's priority. Once you're upstairs, before curfew, do not touch the house phone. After curfew, if you need assistance, pick up the phone, dial 0, and ask for the Freedoms Club. Do not order pay-per-view or room service in your room. Drugs and alcohol are strictly prohibited. You will be tested tomorrow at MEPS. Your curfew tonight is 10 o'clock sharp. Once curfew is in effect, you must stay in the room unless there is an absolute emergency. If your roommate is not in your room at 10:05, please pick up the house phone, dial 0, and let the Freedoms Club staff know. In the event of a fire alarm, do not take the elevators. Take the stairs. You and your roommate walk swiftly and safely down the staircase. Go to the nearest exit, find the Freedoms Club attendant, and check in with them.
Please abide by the dress code. You are now representing your branch. To avoid any confusion, please present yourself in the hotel the way you are at MEPS. Smoke only in the designated areas. If you're unsure where that is, ask the Freedoms Club staff. If you are driving your personal vehicle tomorrow, you must notify the Freedoms Club staff before curfew. We have a little bit of paperwork to fill out, and you will receive specific instructions about what to do in the morning.
Weapons are strictly prohibited at the Freedoms Club. There is a list on the back of the commander's welcome letter. If you have brought any of these items in by mistake, call your recruiter immediately.
MEPS requires us to tell you two things. One, you must conduct personal hygiene tonight and in the morning. This includes brushing your teeth, taking a shower, and using deodorant. Also, you must all be wearing underwear. Undergarments are a requirement at MEPS. They will not process you if you fail to do so.
Tomorrow morning, you will receive 2 wake-up calls. However, we highly suggest that you set your own alarm. That way you can make sure you are at checkout on time.
Immediately after this video, the Freedoms Club attendant will instruct you on where to check out tomorrow morning. You must come down with your roommate. We cannot check you out individually. Be sure to bring all your belongings down with you in the morning. You will not be returning to the room. You and your roommate go straight from your room to the designated checkout area. Stand in line, shoulder to shoulder. Have your keys in the inserts the way they were issued to you. After checkout is complete, it's time for breakfast. Go eat, then come back to the Freedoms Club. After breakfast, we will have you fill out a rate sheet. This is your chance to tell us how your stay went and help us maintain our red carpet service. There's a comment box at the top of every rate sheet. Please fill out the comment box and remember to put your room number. If you're shipping out tomorrow and you're unsure about what you can or cannot take on the plane, go to YouTube and type 311 rule. This will answer any questions you may have about airport regulation. If you are processing at MEPS tomorrow or shipping off to basic training, from all of us at the Freedoms Club, we want to say thank you for letting us be a part of your journey. We wish you the best of luck in all that you do.
Alright, so while I was gone, did we ever get in room 224 or Mickey in room... Mickey and awesome. No Mickey? Okay, so moving on. Firstly, to follow up on something that's mentioned towards the end of that movie, if anybody gets upstairs tonight and you find you have anything you're worried about bringing to MEPS, could be some pepper spray, a pocket knife. The example in the movie, for some godforsaken reason, is a briefcase full of pistols. I'm hoping nobody has a briefcase full of pistols with me. Raise your hand for me if you did not get a chance to eat dinner yet. That is a relief because we are out of food. Raise your hand for me if you either do not have an ID or if I failed to check your ID when you first came in the door. Mickey? You're good. Nobody missing an ID? Perfect. Next, raise your hand for me if you have your own vehicle here at the hotel tonight. 1 of you, 2 of you, 3 of you. Alright, so the 3 of you guys stick around afterwards. Got a little bit of paperwork, a couple of details to go over for you in terms of driving your own car to MEPS. So now, lastly and most importantly, tomorrow morning you folks will receive a wake-up call there are two groups here. There are 6 of you who are leaving from this place to the airport, and then the rest of you are going from here to MEPS. So those 6 people who are going to the airport, they are David Stempel, Enoch Lothammer, Lorenzo Padilla, Robert Ness, Catherine Vecchio, and Deanna Rangel Torres. Those 6 people, you're going to receive a wake-up call at 3 a.m., and you got to be in this room for checkout by 3:30. It is an early day of work. Now, if I did not just list your name, that means you're going from here to MEPS. You're going to receive a wake-up call at 4 a.m., and you got to be in this room by 4:30. So before we go any further, is there anybody who is unclear about which group you fall into or what time you should be waking up? Speak now or miss your damn shuttle, anybody? All right, then that's about all I have for you guys. Keep in mind, curfew is 10 p.m., so you got until 10 to be up in your rooms. Feel free to chill out, play some games, watch a movie. Otherwise, my name is Tom. It's been a pleasure working with you folks. Take it easy, y'all.
Alright, pups, so I just did my face mask, and I brushed my teeth, I took a shower, and I did my bright on, and you guys probably can't see because it's dark. I'm trying to get adapted to the dark. Oh, well, I guess it's dark if I do that. I'm trying to get adapted to the dark more and more, so I get a little bit more tired, which I am getting pretty tired. That's how I can't see. Oh yeah, you can. I laid out everything that I'll need tomorrow. I still have some Coke left in my I still have some Coke left in my pop bottle. I'm gonna take a swig of that first thing in the morning to just kind of get me going, and then I've got some water poured out into my cup, so I am ready to do my test tomorrow. I've got my liner set out to pop in. I'm gonna put the casing in a jacket, and zip up jacket pocket. I've got everything laid out. I've got my clothes laid out right here. You guys can't see, but there's a stool right here, and there are black clothes on it with my belt. I've got everything laid out, ready to go. They never said anything about girls not being allowed to wear makeup, but so I'm gonna wear my brown eyeshadow tomorrow. My face looks a lot better, actually. I was really red when I first got here. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I laid out a little bit more of the leftover Clean and Clear Morning Burst. I'm gonna wash my face in the morning with that. I'm hoping to be up at 3:30 because our wake-up call is at 4. So I want to be ready, and headed down because we have to take all of our stuff with us. And I want to make sure I have everything packed and everything. So in the first thing in the morning, once I change, I'm gonna pack everything up. So yes, pups, I'll see you in the morning. Alright, pups, real quick little update while I am finished getting ready. They just gave me my wake-up call at 4 o'clock. I've been up since 3:30. I slept fairly okay last night. I can hear my neighbor in her room. I've already heard kids closing doors, so I'm gonna head down right now. Strip on my jacket. I've got my wallet with my ID and my social security card. I've got everything packed up, and I got my paperwork that I need. Alright, pups, here we go. Let's go to MEPS. Pups, so I'm back in my room because I went clear down to where we were supposed to meet, and there was a sign that said we needed to stay in our rooms until 4:30. So I don't know why they told us to be down there and in that room at 4:30 if they want us to stay in our rooms until 4:30. Maybe it's because they don't want kids running up and down the hallways of all hours of the morning to get down there. But there was a couple other kids. I was gonna tell anyone, or at least I was gonna tell any of the girls going down about the sign, and so I was headed up. I was almost to my door when my neighbor came out, and I told her that there was a sign that said they wanted us to stay in our hotel rooms until 4:30. So thankfully she didn't get far. But yeah, that's how everything is now. I don't think I'll be able to film much after this point, so this may be the end of the video. If not, see you pups in the next clip. Alright, pups, so I'm back in my room again. Packed all my stuff up, brought it all downstairs. They gave me my breakfast, they gave us our briefing. I gotta be back down there by 5:10. With all of my stuff. And this time he said I will not be allowed back in my room once I check in down there. My neighbor's back up here. But we were given a burrito with looks like bacon inside of it. So I guess if you're a vegetarian or you don't like meat, then I mean your MEPS experience might be different than mine. But if you're vegan or vegetarian, you might as well just not eat. I had a protein bar in my bag. I still have it in my bag. But yeah. So I might eat a little bit of this and then of my burrito and then eat the rest of my protein bar. But I'm wearing my little necklace because my recruiter said we weren't allowed to wear piercings, so I had to take my piercings out. I wasn't sure about my collar, so I just took it off and put a little necklace back on. It's a lot easier to take off with, because it doesn't require a key to get off. And then I just have my little bracelet I got from Etsy. But yeah, we got burritos, and we got the choice of apple juice and orange juice. There was still pop in the fridge, but I'm pretty sure no one's gonna grab the pop. So yeah, pups. We'll see how this goes. So I took 2 bites out of my burrito, or 3 bites out of my burrito, and I'm all like, I'm gonna get sick. Eggs don't typically agree with me. I don't like them. And if they're cooked in a certain way, or they are a certain way, I just get really sick. And cheese can sometimes make me feel sick, and the last thing I need is to be sick. So I'll drink my apple juice and probably finish eating my protein bar. And since I'll be up here, I'll not brush my teeth, I'll put my liners in. Well, depending on how my teeth are, I might brush my teeth. Today's gonna be a rough day. So apparently I have a morning medical screening that I have not done yet, so I'm gonna do that now. So I'm all done. He just took my temperature, and I had to put some hand sanitizer on my hands. But not all done. I'm going back to my room. Anyways, I'm headed back to my room. I have to be back down here by 5:10. I have to be back down there. Back in my room. I plan on just hanging out up here until I hear my neighbor close her door. And then I'll head on down. Or if it gets closer to 5:10, because I need to be back down there by 5:10, so I'll probably head down at like 5:05. Oh my gosh. Hey, what's up, pups? I know I said that the night I got back, I'd make a video explaining everything that happened at MEPS, but, mad isn't even the word that I would use to describe how I'm feeling right now. It's not mad, it's not angry, it's not sad, it's not upset. It's not frustrated. Frustrated's closer, but it's not that. Some crap went down at MEPS at the very end, and I don't want to talk about it tonight right now. So I'll probably film in the morning. I just know that if I film this video right now and I talk about all that I plan on talking about, I'm gonna end up just being up the entire night. I'm just gonna end up, I don't know, I might end up breaking down in freaking tears. So I'll let you pups know in the morning what all went down. Alright, pups, so I finally got some alone time, and I'm gonna tell you what all went down at MEPS. So, we showed up, a recruiter gave us, not my recruiter, a recruiter gave us a ride up to MEPS, with me and another kid. He's a guy, I think he was a little older than me. But we got to the hotel, and then they had all these procedures we had to go through because of the virus. And so we had to get our temperature taken, take a little miniature survey, basically to confirm that we didn't have the virus, or we didn't have the virus in the past. And then we went into another room where we got our room keys, and we told the guy there what we wanted to eat for dinner. I got I already told you that I got the Caesar salad. I already told you guys, I'm pretty sure I already told you guys that part. But, so I went up to my room. You guys saw these. I made a couple of clips. I studied, I ate my dinner, all that good stuff. So the night before, I think I fell asleep around 10:30. I woke up at 3:30. We got our wake-up call at 4. I think I made a clip about that. But then we went, and they wanted us down in the area to get our breakfast and have all our stuff down there by 4:30. Right? Yeah, we wanted to take all our stuff down there by 4:30. I don't remember if we had to take our baggage down to get breakfast or not. I made a clip in the process of all this, so you guys have probably already watched that. So that's what happened. So I went up and down the stairs probably 3 different times. I told my neighbor, my room neighbor, that, hey, we're not going down yet, such and such. So we were leaving, right? It was close to like 5:10 when we finally went down to the area to get ready to go. And this is when everyone was getting, checked out. We're turning in our room keys. If the guy was telling us that it was a different guy the second day than the first guy we dealt with. I think the first guy's name was like Tom or Thomas. I think the second guy's name was like Matt or something like that. And so there was, if kids remember that they forgot something, they could go to him, get their room key, go back up and get it. So the guy was like, all right, 6 feet distance, we're gonna get on this bus. So in other videos that I've seen, some people, I also want to clarify, this is for Oregon, so it might be different in other states. So this is what happened at the Portland MEPS station, the Portland one. So, so I've heard that girls get on one bus, guys get on one bus, or girls get on one bus, guys get on another bus. But I think because of the virus and everyone got their own seat, they didn't have to worry about anything like, happening on the bus. So everyone got their own seat. We drove just basically around the corner, and we were there with all of our stuff. And then we got off. No one really knew where to go because no one was there to walk us to where we were going. So one girl who had already been there previously, she asked if no one else knew where they were going. And everyone was like, no, we have no clue. And so she's like, well, I know, I've been here, I know where we're going. So she took off, and we all kind of followed her. But, if she wasn't there, nobody would have known where we were going to go. So we probably would have to wait for, the bus driver or something. But anyways, then we were standing outside for probably 15, 20 minutes. Just standing outside. Then some ladies from Homeland Security came out, and she was giving us a bunch of instructions. Told us we can't have, which reminds me, I need to put my piercings in. Haven't put them in since MEPS. So like a couple days. So so she tells you can't have any body jewelry, any piercings, no necklaces. I had to take off my bracelet. She said you can't wear hats inside. If you have I don't know what religion it is, but I think it's Jewish, the one with the little tiny hat that sits on the back of your head. I don't know if you'd be allowed to wear that or not, because it's a religious covering, but they said no hats. So I don't know if that's considered a hat or not. If you wear a hijab, I think that's how you pronounce it, a hijab. Again, I don't know if they'd let you wear that or not. That's something you have to ask your recruiter or ask them when you're there. They should. I think if it's like religious or your culture, I think you should be allowed to wear it, but I don't know. Anyway, so they filed us in. One kid really had to pee, and some 2 Army guys were walking in, and he walked over and he was kind of whispering to them, and they weren't very hush-hush about it. They were just like, well, you can just stand in the front line, the people were taken in. So he moved his stuff over there, and we were waiting a little bit, and so that was when the Army guys came out with this Homeland Security ladies, and he said, all right, we're gonna form different lines. These people getting behind a guy who really has to pee here, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that poor kid. So like, if you gotta pee, you don't let anybody know. Don't tell anybody, because they'll point it out. They pointed that this poor kid had to pee, and I think he was really embarrassed, because I kind of glanced over at him once they said that, because I kind of figured that's what was going on, but I was just like, oh well. You can hear the boys yelling. Then we got in, we had to put all of our bags and whatnot. You have to empty your pockets, everything, empty your pockets. And I had some stuff in my pocket that I kind of really needed. And so I'm all like, well, maybe you're allowed to put your jackets on when you get back inside. Because everyone says it's freezing cold there. Which I wasn't really cold until I had to do my, all of my joint movements and whatnot. Because you're not wearing basically anything. So I got cold then. But we had to take everything off. Put it in like a little TSA scanner, send everything through. My collar was in my purse, so one of the ladies had to, and then you had to walk through a metal detector. But my collar detected metal on the machine, so the lady had to go through my purse, and I'm like, well, what's going on? Because I had forgotten that I had my my Leatherman in my purse. Thankfully, before we left my recruiter's office, I had remembered it and I had taken it out, but oh my gosh, it was awful. But anyway, she's going through my purse, and she said, you got a lot of metal in here. I'm like, oh, that's probably my collar. It's in the main part of my bag. I'm sorry about that. And anyway, so she was just like, oh yeah, it's fine, it's just, you got this, and I had coins, little money coins in my purse and whatnot, and she said it's fine. So they said everything goes in the little closet room where all your bags go. There's like giant cubbies. All your bags go in here. So the only thing you're allowed to take out is your ID and your social security card. A photo ID and your social security card. Nothing else. I'm like, like if you have a belt on, you have to take your belt off to go through the metal detector, but you're allowed to put it back on once you get your bag back to the cubby. And I'm like, well, this will be really an interesting day, because the stuff I need was in my jacket pocket, and I put my aligner case in my jacket pocket. And so I'm like, well, what am I gonna do with my aligners if I have to eat or I have to drink something that's not water? It's like, what am I gonna do? I'm going to put them in. I'll have to figure out how to get back into my bag. And in other videos, people have said that you can't get back in there unless it's like an emergency. Like one girl said that she was so freezing that they couldn't draw her blood because she was shaking, because she was drinking cold water and all this stuff. And so they said that she could, and so the doctor actually told them to let her get her jacket. That wasn't the case for us. In our case, the little baggage door closet was open the whole time. And I could get in, and I had to get into my bag twice. Well, twice to get stuff. And I had to get into it once to get my ID and social security card, but that's later. So we get in, and they have us put our bags in and whatnot. And then we sit down in these chairs. Then they have 3 different lines, and they told us to, well, no, they had us stand up. The guy gave this little spiel, and I think he was with the Air Force, and he said, if you didn't grab your photo ID or your social security card, now would be the time to get up and go get it. And this other guy sitting behind me, I don't know, he had to be like in his 20s somewhere, like 25 maybe a little younger than that. And he raised his hands like, so can I get my social security card now? And he's like, that is why everyone else is getting up. And I was like, oh my gosh, no. We haven't even gotten into the main section of where all the MEPS rooms are. And someone's already doing something stupid. And this guy's much older than me. I mean, he should know, like, okay, he just said, if you don't have your ID or social security card, go get it. And you're asking if you can go get your social security. Everyone got everything they needed. We stood up. We went to this, went down this hallway, and went into another room where there was different offices for all the different branches. And so he's like, all right, go make a line in front of whatever the office your branch you're gonna go into. And you're gonna get, there's like a little name tag sticker thing. Basically had your first name, last name, and then I think it said whatever branch you were going into, and then a bunch of other little information that I guess is only important to them, because I didn't know what it was. So we got our little sticker. We got this folder. Mine was red. I saw red. I saw orange. There's just different colors. I had a red. I think all the Army kids got red folders. So I grabbed that, and then they told us to go to the 3 lines. One's like orange, yellow, and I think blue. And so we went down the orange line. This is where they took our index finger scans. So like if we did anything, they scanned our fingerprints to verify that was us. Instead of just, looking at our ID cards or security card, fingers are unique and fingers can't be stolen. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. But so we did all that. And then we all went into this big briefing room. And this is where we got a bunch of our paperwork. And this is where one of the doctors, or one of the medical personnel, the Army medical personnel, was just talking to us and whatnot. And, sorry if I say a lot. I notice I do that. So he gave us he walked us through all the paperwork we had to do. And you really got to pay attention with this guy, because he had to stack some paperwork in one pile and then a very few papers in another pile. Ellie, off of the door. And so one girl wasn't really getting the whole stacking thing. And so later on, a female, I think she was Army, came in, and just to hang out and whatnot, because I guess she had nothing else better to do. And she was kind of tearing into this poor, not like full on brrr, but she was asking why your paper is different from everyone else, And she couldn't figure, and the poor girl couldn't figure out what do you mean? It's on the floor like everyone else's. And so the Army girl, I think her name tag said Rucker or something. She was all like, here, give me your paperwork. Give it all to me. And she kind of looked at everyone else to see what was going on. And so she stacked it up and put it where It was supposed to be for the girl. And so we got all that done, and the guys and the army medic guy, there we go again, said that your paperwork has to either be in your hands or on your lap at all times. You cannot set it on the floor. You cannot set it on a chair. If anyone sees it, it's not in your lap or in your hand, you're gonna get in trouble. And they've had people like screaming and yelling already. Like, not mine, not when I went, but he said that in the past, people have been screamed at and yelled at for not holding on to their paperwork. And I'm sure it almost happened a few times when we were there because it was happening. The guy said, I've warned you, keep it on you, keep it with you, don't set it down, don't leave it alone. He said that if you have to go somewhere, like to the bathroom, and you can't take your paperwork with you, he said then what you do is you go to the desk, you tell someone, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom, I gotta go here, and wherever you can't go, take your paperwork with you, and they'll tell you to turn it over. So like if like this is, so like you'll have like a red folder, then all your paperwork, and then there's like a laminated sheet that goes over it to kind of hide your personal information. They're gonna have you fold it over, so like all the paper, so like the, I think what I'm saying is obvious, but like the red folder's here, they're gonna make the red folder go on top, and then you're gonna go do whatever you're gonna do, come back and just pick it up. So he told us all this, and then he let us loose. The first place I went to was my vision. He sent, because there were only 3 of us girls, there 4 MEPS. Like there's a couple other girls there who were just there to finish something up, and then they shipped out. And there's a bunch of kids there who had to wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to ship out. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Who is yelling? Oh, he's still yelling at Sophie. So he let us girls go first, because all the girls were basically ready for our urine tests. And so, oh no, I got it mixed up again. I did this exact same thing with my dad yesterday, because he wanted the whole spiel. So we came in from getting our paperwork. I went straight to vision. Then I went to hearing. I was in hearing with a couple other kids. Then from hearing, they sent us to the briefing room. Okay, now I'm all on track. I'm all on track now. Okay, all of this is right. I probably will just edit that last part out. I probably won't, but okay. The truth of how it all went. We got our paperwork from our branch office. I went to vision. I don't know where everyone else went, but I went to vision. Then I went to hearing with a couple other kids, and from hearing they sent us to the briefing room with the army medic. So then after that, then he said, all right, girls, you're gonna go first, because there's only 3 of us, and basically we were all ready to do our urine samples and whatnot. So we got up, he did some paperwork, we had to do a breathalyzer. It was really weird. And then we sat outside in these chairs. We went in, we did our urine test. And then that was the first time I got back into my bag. I told the lady in there if I could go get in my bag, and she said, yeah, that's totally fine. You just gotta turn your paperwork in, and all that. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I went by the medical desk, and I was waiting for someone to come walking by to ask me what I was doing. But she actually started to come back because I was the last girl to do my test. And so she came walking by, and she's like, all right, this is all you do. Just take the paperwork, do like this, go do your thing, come back, just get your paperwork back. I'm like, okay, that's good. So all of my paperwork went, and then she told me to go and tell someone at the front desk to open up the door for me. But the door was already open, so I wasn't sure if I was allowed to go in. And so when the lady's walking by, I was like, can I help you? So I'm like, yeah, I need to get in my bag to get this, and this. And she's like, oh, yeah, sure, that's totally fine. Go ahead. And so I got it. I did my thing. I went back, and I got my paperwork. From there, all right, so one of our foster boys came in, so I stopped the video. So when I was done with my test, the lady said, go do my thing, and then to go to blood draw, and nervous wasn't the word to describe it. I do, right there. Let's see, right there. I was scratching my hand, and I was so nervous, and I was just kind of like rocking back and forth. And the lady who did my test was the lady who was doing all of the urine samples and whatnot. She washed her hands, so don't worry about that. Oh, another thing I forgot is we were all wearing masks. It was the just normal square ones that you tie around. I hated it. I didn't really like it that much. I felt like I was really, I felt really claustrophobic at times with it on. Sometimes I felt like it was really hard to breathe with it, even though I knew it was easy to breathe with it. Sometimes it just felt like, y'all know what I mean. It felt really hard to breathe with it on. And so I was sitting outside. It was really weird. So there's two places you can do. There's one little chair and then one other chair for doing your blood draw. And the doors, I don't know why there's doors on because you're just getting your blood drawn, but they're like bathroom stall doors. It's really weird. I like the big square metal ones. It's really weird. But there was one guy who was doing our briefing, drawing blood and whatnot. And then there was another one and then there was the girl that drew my blood. That reminds me, the guy in the briefing said that so far no female doctors have showed up. So he was telling the girls that he might be observing them with their urine tests. And like when he said that, oh my gosh, my anxiety level like went straight through the roof and it didn't stop. Like it wrapped around the moon and came right back to me. I was so nervous. Like I started to scratch my hand again. Not again, but I started to scratch my hand because I was so nervous. I didn't stop scratching my hand until he was having us write stuff down, and I had a pen in my hand, so I couldn't scratch my hand. But thankfully, right as we were getting done, a female doctor showed up. So that, and I think she was just a civilian volunteer. I think she worked as like a nurse or something like that. But she showed up, and so I was like, oh my goodness, thank goodness. So back to my blood draw. My nerves are through the roof, and I'm like scratching my hand. I'm kind of going back and forth because I'm just so nervous because I haven't had a shot since I was 12 because I will bite. I will bite my doctor, or I have bit my doctor. I will scream, and it's just not pretty. I got my ears pierced. I got one done, and I said, "Screw it, Dad. I'm gonna be a pirate. I don't want to get my ears pierced." My mom had to sit down in the little chair, put me on her lap, and hold my arms in place. And then my dad had to try and help the poor lady piercing my ear to hold my head still. Because I was just like, no, don't stick my other ear. It was awful. It was awful. So I hadn't gotten a shot since I was like 12 or something like that. Because we went to Mexico on a cruise. So I hadn't had a shot since I was like 12. I was super nervous. I don't like getting poked with absolutely anything. And so the lady was like looking at me, she's like, are you okay? And I'm all like, yeah, I'm just nervous. And she's all like, well, come on. Anyways, and so she was all like, here, take a seat. I'm looking at this chair. I'm like, how do I get in this chair? Because it looks like a giant dentist chair, but it has this like safety like cross belt that you're supposed to put your arm on and whatnot. And I was like looking at this chair, like, how do I? And like I grabbed the hand, I try to like slide it. I'm like, oh, it just pulls up. So I sat down, and because I'm so short, my feet don't touch the ground in the chair, and so my foot was like twitching, like out of control. Like if my foot's on the ground, my leg will just go up and down, kind of like a. I don't want to say kind of like a rabbit because that's really weird. But, my foot just kind of goes up and down when I get nervous. And so because it wasn't on the ground, it was just twitching. And the lady pulled her chair forward and she pulled it right into my foot, and she kind of looked down because she wanted to see what my foot was doing. And I wrapped my other leg around my foot and pulled it back. I'm like, sorry, my leg twitches when I'm nervous. She's like, yeah, don't do that because it's hitting my chair. I'm like, I'm sorry. And I was so freaking nervous. Like, it was so obvious that I was nervous and scared. And she said, I'm surprised with you girls. Usually the guys are my big wussies. But today apparently all you girls are. I'm thinking, sorry, I told her I hadn't had a shot since I was 12. And they had this little Where's Waldo thing that, to distract yourself from getting, the needle and whatnot. And I looked over at it. I'm not like other people. If I know what's gonna happen, I can't focus on anything except that. So, oh my gosh, I might start bawling. But so I was so nervous, and I kept looking over, and the poor guy who did our exam, he was trying so hard to keep me calm, and he was just like, here, talk to me, And she was and she had tied my arm up, and she was looking at the vein where she said, oh girl, this is, I guess the vein that she had to poke was like huge. My dad just says my family has like normally huge veins or something like that, or arteries or whatever they stick it in. And so she's like, oh girl, this is gonna be easy. And so the guy was trying so hard to keep me calm, and she was just like cleaning my arm surface, and I was already like freaking out. And she's like, all right, now I need you to stay as still as possible or this is gonna take longer. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was like nearly in tears. And then this poor guy over here was just trying to keep me as calm as he possibly could. And so she poked me, and I was so nervous. I was gonna just like scream, and like everyone was gonna be like, oh, what the heck just happened? Like, who just murdered somebody? Thankfully, oh my gosh, I didn't scream, but I did bawl my eyes out. So my hand was like this. I stuck the needle in, and I went like that, and I barely twitched. But she's like, oh, you moved. And I'm like, sorry. And I got tears streaming down my face. And this guy, and I'm bawling, and this guy is like, I'm not like, but I got tears uncontrollably coming out of my eyes. And the guy over here is like, so what branch are you going to? Like, Lord. He's like, oh, that's cool. What do you want to be? I'm like, oh, oh my gosh. And she was asking me like why I was crying. I'm like, because you poked me. I always do when I get shots. You guys probably couldn't understand a word I just said. She asked me why I was crying. I just said, because you poked me, and I always do when I get shots. Anyways, and so she's just like, we're almost there, and she took the needle out, and I'm like, I'm trying so hard to stop crying, because like, it didn't hurt that bad, but I'm just, when it comes to needles, I'm just a big wuss. And so this is the Yelly show. So I was just trying so hard to stop crying, and she said, see, that wasn't so hard, I only had to stick you once. I'm all like, I'm just thinking to myself, lady, if you had to stick me twice, I was gonna say no. The guy said, if you want to stop for any reason, you just say for personal reasons, I don't want to go forward. I would have been like, lady, you just stick me 2 times. For personal reasons, I'm going to stop. So she gave me the little cotton swab to stop the bleeding and wrapped my arm. And she was like, all right, I'll give you a minute to collect yourself. And I'm just like sitting there. I'm just like trying so hard to stop crying. Thankfully, I had a mask on so she couldn't see that my nose was uncontrollably running. And I was listening to the music they were playing. They were playing the Police song, not Bad Boys, but the band Police or something. It's like every breath you take, I'm like, I really like this song. Just trying to get my mind off of, the pain and the throbbing in my hand and my arm. And the guy was all like, yeah, it's a pretty good song. And he's like, this is a weird song. It's a stalker song. Anyways, I got done. I got up, and then after that, where did I go after that? I think I just went to wait for the other girls to get done. Yeah, I was just sitting around waiting for the girls to get done with all the rest of their stuff so we could do our duck walk, and I think it's more like a strut, like a duck strut. I called it a duck strut for some reason whenever I was talking to them later. But I was waiting for the girls around, and there was one kid, it's the same kid who really had to pee when we first got there. He was chugging water because now he couldn't pee. And so he he actually peed twice since we were there. He had to go pee when we first got there, and then we were in our briefing room. For some reason, he had to go pee again. And so he was walking around trying to guzzle water from the kid guzzling water, trying to get their testing, because they want to get all the different testing done so they can focus on, certain other things. Like if, one more kid has to do his vision, there has to be someone there until this kid does his vision test, or until the kid does his hearing test. So once, a vision test gets done, then the person doing the vision test can go help with blood draw, can go help with, their urine test. So they were trying to get these two kids done with their test. And I was just waiting for the girls to get done with whatever they were doing. I probably waited for a good 20 minutes. No, that's right, okay. So, finally all the girls got done. We all went into this big room where the lady who we had to do an interview with a doctor, and she's just a civilian doctor. She was a pediatrician. So we went into this huge room, and it was weird because on the paperwork that you sign all your documents and whatnot, and for MEPS, they give you a dress code, dress nice and whatnot, and they said to wear normal bras, and basically they said not to wear sports bras, like bikini tops or anything like that. The two other girls, one was wearing a sports bra, and the other one, I'm pretty sure, was wearing like a bikini top kind of bra, like it tied around her waist and then it tied around her neck. And like, I wasn't staring at them, but I just kind of noticed what they were wearing. I'm like, didn't the paperwork say not to wear this kind of stuff? But no one said anything against it. I think it's just more for decency reasons, I guess. I don't know. I think I could have, I have to do MEPS again, and so if I have to redo my physical, I'm just going to wear a freaking sports bra. So we did all of our stretches and whatnot. Well, first of all, we got in there, and we had to undress, and the other girl with me, she wasn't African American. She was black skin colored, but she wasn't African American. I don't know where. She immigrated from, I don't know where. But she didn't know what she was supposed to do. I've seen videos like this, so I knew that it had to come off. Your clothes had to come off. And so I was kind of getting undressed, and she was kind of just sitting there, like, just talking with me. I'm like, does she not know what we're doing? Because I thought it felt really weird to be the only one undressing. And I'm like, does she not know what we're doing? Because she heard the doctor, well, the Army girl Rucker was in there, and she said to take off her shoes and socks, and put them under the bench and leave her paperwork on the little bench that's in there. And so she had taken off her shoes and socks, and I was starting to like pull my arms out of my sleeves, and I'm all like, and she's not doing anything. I'm like, this is so awkward. I'm the only one getting like undressed. I'm like, what's going on? And I had made a comment about it, and I'm all like, it's kind of weird, isn't it? But I mean, when you do sports, I mean, that's just what you get used to it. And she's like, oh, are we taking all of our clothes off? I'm like, yeah, you have to take your shirt and pants off. And she's like, oh, okay. So I'm like, oh, finally, it's normal now. It's normal. And so it was kind of weird for me because the only time I really undressed in front of anyone really was twice in sports. We one time when we were fitting for our uniforms for our cheer uniforms, and then one time we were changing into our uniforms, I think. Yeah, I think we were changing into our uniforms. We were in our warm-ups for some reason, and we had to change into our uniforms, or vice versa, one of the two. But it was like just the girls on the cheer team, so I was like, oh well. You know, if they don't make it awkward for me, I will make it awkward for them, basically. So we got undressed. The third girl came in, same thing, and so we went through all of our emotions. The Rucker girl went through some of our emotions and whatnot, and the doctor was just, you know, making sure that we had fluidity of movement. And then she had us squat down with our knees together, and then they had a tile floor, and so she wanted us to snap our knees on the ground. Some people say they had to stand up and just drop to their knees, and they said it really hurts. So I'm wondering if that's one reason they did it with squatting down, because it wouldn't have hurt as bad. And then on our knees, we had to just like walk forward on our knees. Well, on our knees and our shins, just kind of walk forward a little bit. So we all did that, and then we all did our duck walk, and I was all like, this is going to be stupid. You know, when I'm squatted down, I don't have the best balance, especially when I have to walk like heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. I'm not the best at that. And it's a balancing thing. You have to be able to balance like crouching and walking. So we started doing it, and I was just like, you know, the girls were halfway done going forward, and I was already turned around and going back. I'm all like, man, I schooled this thing. And so we got done with that. And then we had to do a couple other things. We had to get up on our toes, like as high as we possibly could, and we had to walk. And that's what was hard for me. No, wait, it was the other one. So that one I was fine with. It was walking on the heels of your feet that I had problems with, because if I don't go forward fast, I'll end up going backwards, because you're kind of leaning on your heels. So your body weight is being thrown backwards, but you're moving forward. So if I wasn't moving forward fast, I would end up going backwards. But I was fine doing that. And then they had a thing where they wanted to see how you move walking. So they had you in one corner of the room and the doctor in the other corner. Basically, all you did was you basically speed walked, full arm motion and everything, down one way, turn around and come back. They said to pretend like you're trying to catch a bus. So you had to speed walk all the way down, speed walk all the way back. And then we went over to Rucker, and she gave us the gowns for our like whole examination. And the one girl, she was blonde. The other girl, the blonde girl, I guess she really had to pee. And so she said that the doctor said that she'd do her examination first. Ellie, are you playing with your stuffed pig? Is that your stuffed pig? Is that your stuffed pig? Is that your stuffed pig? She's trying to get me to play with her. Is that your stuffed pig? Is this your pig? Is that your pig? Is that your pig? Is it your piggy? Come here. Come here, piggy. Come here, let me see your pig. This is what she did to her stuffed pig. So she went and did her examination, and then again, I saw these videos. I knew what was going on, so I was trying to figure out how I was gonna take my clothes off and, you know, be discreet about it. Rucker said that if we wanted to be courteous, what she said to the other girls in the room, one girl can hold up the dress while the other one undresses, and then just slide the dress on, and then same thing. So I don't know why we didn't do that, but what I did is I just unfolded it. I tucked it under my chin. I took my bra off, and then I took my underwear off, and I wrapped it all together, and I set it under with the rest of my stuff. And then I just slid my arms through the holes, and then I undid the straps. The straps were all kind of glued together, so you have to like pull them twice to undo them all the way. And the girl was like, "Oh, are we supposed to take off our underclothes?" I'm like, "Yeah, you gotta take everything off." And she's all like, "Oh, I didn't know." I'm like, "Yeah, I just watched a couple videos before I came, so I knew what was gonna go on." And so she took off the rest of her clothes, and I was tying my gown, and she was asking me how I got my straps so long. And I'm like, "Here," I walked in like, "Here, you see, you just do like this." She's like, "Oh, okay, thanks." And the doctor said that if we wanted to, we could sit on the bench, but I thought it was really weird to sit on a bench when you're not wearing any clothes except for, you know, this little blue dress, basically. I thought it was just really weird. So I stood. The other girl, the darker girl, she sat down. The doctor took the blonde girl, did her examination, came back, and while she was gone, I was talking with this other girl, the darker girl, and I think she was really nervous with everything. And so finally, the blonde girl was done, and the doctor came back in, and the girl had this white thing wrapped around her, which at the time I was like, "What the heck is that for?" Because she had her dress on, so it's not like it was covering anything. But she had this thing on, and so then, sorry. So she was done with the blonde girl. She came in. She's like, "Why don't we do you next?" I'm like, "All right." So I headed back, and she was asking me a bunch of questions. She checked my ear, checked my eyes. She went to go check my mouth, and she's like, "What's on your mouth? Is there some on your teeth?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I said clear aligners." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And she's making a mark on her page that I had them, and I'm like, and she's like, when are you gonna be done with it? I'm like, June 8th. And I knew that for sure because the paperwork on my account said I'd be done June 8th. I have a 4-month. I explained to her I have a 4-month plan, all this stuff. And she's like, "All right, cool." And so she did the rest. And so I said, if they're in your way, I can just pop them out and be done with them. And she's like, no, they're fine. And so she did the rest of my my mouth examination. And then she was doing my back. She had me lay down, and she had to do a chest examination. And she explained, she said that before she does anything with anything in this vicinity, that she would let me know what she was gonna do and whatnot. I'm like, "Oh, thanks, that'd be really nice." And you're allowed to have a supervisor in there at any time you're alone with a doctor. If you have a male doctor or a male provider, you will automatically have a female, whether it's a doctor or just another just like Rucker. She was just there for Army stuff, just to go through the stretches and whatnot. You're allowed to have someone in there. I don't know if I would have said yes, I want a supervisor in here. I don't know if they would have had a female supervisor or a guy supervisor come in, but I'm like, no, it's fine. I was okay. I was kind of okay with it. I was nervous, as you can kind of imagine, but other than that, I was fine. And so she did my chest examination, and she was just telling me like what she was gonna do, you know, why she was gonna do it. And I think it was obvious that I was uncomfortable with her doing my chest examination, because the way I laid down like I was laying back, and I was laying like this. Like, this hand wasn't even like, it was like up in the air, and this arm was like ready to like push myself up, and like this arm was like ready to like, I guess, like slap somebody. I don't know why, but I just naturally laid like this. Well, no, I was first laying like this with this arm up, and then I kind of like switched hands. It was really weird. And so she was done with that. She pulled my she only pulled the dress down one side at a time, and she pulled it back up. And then she had to do the below the belt examination, which was the part really that I was most uncomfortable with. And she said that before, you know, she does anything, she's gonna, you know, touch the inside of my thigh, so I know like what her hand feels like. I'm all like, okay. Like, I was so nervous. Like, I don't know what the other girls did, if they just, you know, kind of laid back, but I was so freaking nervous that I like had myself like propped up on my elbows. Like, oh, it was so awkward. It was so freaking awkward. It was awful. I was just so nervous. And so I had myself like propped up on my elbows, like so I could, I don't know if it's so I could see her, or if I could sit up faster if for some reason I needed to. But anyways, we got that whole thing done. And so, hi Ellie. And so before, when I did my talk with her, I told her what was going on with me. And so when she had to do my below the belt examination, she wasn't like, oh, hello. So we got done, and I think one thing I didn't really expect was she had to examine is the word, but she had to look at my rear end, which was for me the most awkward thing ever. Like, I mean, it was awkward altogether. Her examining down there, it was awkward, but I think my butt was the most awkward of them all. So, if you're going to MEPS, if you have to go to the bathroom, make sure you clean everything and clean it well. Because I didn't know she had to examine my butt. You know, it was awkward. But anyways, so I got done with that. There were the white thing that the blonde girl came in with. She would drape it over my my lap. I don't know why. It's just, maybe it's to give me more privacy. Even though there was like, A, there was no one else in the room besides her and me, and B, I mean, she was already looking, so it was really weird. One girl said with her examination, the lady just like lifted up the curtain or her dress and was like, okay, you're good. Now, maybe it's because she was a pediatrician, and pediatricians don't have patients that are already at that awkward phase. I don't know. We got done with that. And then that was my last thing I had to do. So I went back into the room, and she had to go, I don't know, do something. And I keep on wanting to call her an African American. She's not African American. The black girl was asked me, like I think she was really nervous. She was like, so how was it? I'm like, it was okay, you know. it wasn't too awkward. You know, I said the weirdest thing for me was the stirrups. I don't think she knew what the stirrups were. But I said, you know, she tells you what she's gonna do, why she's gonna do it. You'll be fine. And she's like, okay. And so I untied my dress and I grabbed the edge of my dress with my chin. I put my underwear and my bra on, and then by then the doctor came back and grabbed her to shake her in. And so I just kind of waited a minute. This guy came walking in, and I just dropped my dress and quickly put on the rest of my clothes. Threw my little dress away, and then I just had to go out in the hall and just basically wait. So I was waiting, and Rucker was wiping down chairs, and she's like, ma'am, just sit over here with her. And so we had one more doctor interview, I guess, with another doctor, which I don't even know if she wasn't, I don't think she was a army doctor, because all the other army doctors who were there, army medics who were there, they were wearing camo of some sort. Or they had the one guy who gave us the briefing, he had a camo scrub on and then camo, his combat pants on. So, and then there was another guy there, I don't know, well, I say guy, but I can't remember if it was a guy or a girl. There was another person there, I think they had a medic sticker on the side of them, on the side of their shirt, or their jacket or whatever. And so we were sitting there, we were waiting for the little dag nabbit, she's not African American. I can't remember where she was from. But the black girl, she finally came up, and we had to sit every other person in a chair because of, social distancing and whatnot. So she had to sit on the row of chairs across from us. And we're all looking around, we're thinking, where are all the boys, There were a ton, there were 3 girls, and everyone else was a guy. There were so many guys. And, all the guys were gone. We're like, oh, they must be done, and not taking their ASVAB or their PICAT or whatever. And so we're kind of looking around. We're all like, and, we're asking each other, where are all the boys? Where do you think the boys are? And the girl came back, and I'm like, see, it wasn't that bad. And she's laughing, no, it wasn't that bad. And then she kind of joined our conversation, trying to figure out where all the guys were. And I'm like, oh, maybe if they're in there, there was a door right next to us. Maybe they're in there doing their exercise and their deck walk. And they were like, oh, yeah, that's where they were. And so we sat there. Oh, my gosh. Us 3 girls sat there. We were just talking, having fun, talking about animals, siblings, what we were all wanting to do, or what branch we were all going in. I don't know what branch they were going into. But the pediatrician came out, and she said she needed to talk to me with the doctor, because she had taken my folder. We all had our folders. She took my folder and took the blonde girl's folder. And I think a while later she took the black girl's folder. But she called me in, so I went in there, and the doctor lady reminded me of my best friend's mother. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. When I see her, I get to tell her this. And then I don't like the lady now, so I think now every single time I see my best friend's mother, I'm gonna have memories of her. And then I'm gonna probably just scowl at her, or not even want to talk to her. Cause it was my best friend's mom's evil twin. She looked just like a twin, her hair was up, her body shape, it was just it was all the same. I was about to say, Mrs. And then, her last, I'm not gonna say her last name, but Mrs. I was just be like, hi, I'm here. But I thought it was weird because she's not, my best friend's mom isn't a doctor. So she said that heard that I had something in my mouth. And I said, yeah, they're clear aligners. And I was trying to explain them. I got 3 words out, and she looked at the pediatrician. She's like, there's your answer. And I'm kind of thinking, there's your answer for what? I literally said 3 or 4 words, and she said, there's your answer. I'm like, what? And so I was trying to explain to her what they were, And I guess the pediatrician thought that they were like whitening trays. She said that they were whitening trays. It would have been fine because, you know, you don't wear whitening trays all the time. I like, come on, I'm almost done. So I was trying to explain to her Smile Direct Club and everything and how I'll be done. And she had this paperwork, and she had some guy on her phone who was speaking Russian. And then she had some other guy that she had called. And so she had 2 phone calls going at the same time. And she was trying to listen to me, listen to these 2 guys at the same time. It was really unproductive because she kept stopping my conversation to try to listen to this guy speaking Russian. She said she doesn't speak Russian, so I don't know why she's on the phone with a freaking Russian. So she's got this Russian guy going. She's got this other guy on the phone who's talking. I don't know if he's trying to interpret for her or what is going on. And then she's trying to talk to me and listen to me and listen to the pediatrician and talk to the pediatrician. And on the paperwork, it says yes or no. Do you have braces or permanent retainers? I checked no. These aren't braces. They're not glued or cemented to my teeth. And they're not retainers. And they're not permanent. So I put no. And so I told the doctor. She's a doctor. I don't know why she was supposed to be a doctor. Like a medical doctor, not any other type of doctor, just a normal doctor who sticks you with a needle and gives you a shot. So she said that the aligners should count as braces because they're supposed to be pushing my teeth into place like braces do. They're supposed to be. And the pediatrician was saying, yes, but on her paperwork, she said on the paper, because I told her that on the paperwork when I did my exam, when she did my mouth exam, I told her on the paperwork it didn't say anything about Invisaligners or Invisalign or anything like that. It just said braces and permanent retainers. I told her that if it had said aligners or clear aligners, you know, I would have marked yes that I have them. And the doctor said that she doesn't have them. You know, it does say braces or permanent retainer. It doesn't say anything about aligners. It doesn't say anything about anything that I can take out of my mouth. She said that I told her that I was going to be done way before I ship out. You know, the pediatrician was like, let this poor girl leave. Like, let her go finish her one other thing she has to do and go take her out of that and let her leave. You know, this poor girl's been up since, 3 o'clock in the morning, basically. She's just like, she's telling the truth, it was on the paperwork. And this doctor, I shouldn't have said that, but this doctor was saying that because they're close enough to braces, they should count as braces. And she was asking me all these irritating questions because she kept repeating the exact same questions over and over and over again. And she was degrading and belittling the Smile Direct Club brand and anyone who works there, anyone who's stupid enough, as I quote, stupid enough to put money into something like this that will not work. I told her it works. Okay, I told her my teeth were like this, my two side ones. I pointed to her which ones they were. They were like this, straight up and down. And now they're like this. They've moved into place. They look straighter. And I wish I would have came close enough to her to slap her in her stupid face. She said, and how long have you had your dentist license or your orthodontist license? I'm like, never. And I wish I would have said what my dad told me to say to her. As long as you have had yours. Because she wasn't a dentist. She wasn't an orthodontist. She had no, as far as I know, she had no certificate in the teeth industry. None. And she was saying that she has never once seen a successful case in this. And I said, well, I have seen progress. I wanted to tell her I've had my teeth since I was basically born, ever since I was been alive. I had my teeth. I've seen my teeth all growing up, and I see them now, and I see the difference. And she says that it's a head case thing. I'm seeing things. And she was just, ticking me off isn't the right word. All right, pups, so I had to come down to my room because the boys kept coming in and they were just hanging out on the porch. So this lady is basically saying that you have to be stupid to throw money away to get clear aligners. And I explained to her that I went to the Smile bus, and I got my 3D scan, and she said that's a dead giveaway, that I just threw money away, because I got on this happy bus. She said a happy bus or a Smile bus or whatever it's called. And I tried to explain to her that it's not, the company doesn't work out of a flipping bus. I told her that they have a headquarters in Washington. I'm pretty sure it's in Seattle or in Salem, Washington. No, there's no Salem. There's just Seattle. In Seattle, Washington. And they have equipment in a bus, and they travel to different states to offer their services. When I said that, she kind of looked like, oh, so maybe it's not a whole hoax after all, you know. But she never said that. She would never say that. So basically, she acted like a child, like a freaking child. Like, she used air quotes a lot of the time. Like, not like, you know, this, you know, like this. You know, she did this. Full arm movement. Full on arm movement. And I was telling my dad about this lady, and I said, Dad, I swear to you, if you were there and you saw how childish she was acting, you would have went rounds with her. You would have just went round with this chick. She was disrespectful, to say the least. To say the least, she was disrespectful. She was rude. Let's see. She was, another word that I'm going to refrain from saying, because I kind of already said it. Yeah. There's just a million other words. Like, there are so many words in the English dictionary, in the English dialect, and not one of them perfectly describes how I feel towards this person.
There are 1,013,150 words in the entire English dialect, and yet there is not a single combination of them that describes my urge to hit you with a chair.
I didn't say this lady. She ain't no lady. Anyways, it was just awful. She basically, and then she said that if I would have had a letter from my orthodontist saying that my treatment would be done before I ship out, she said I would have been good. I would have been golden. She said I wouldn't have been disqualified. Yes. Removable plastic from my mouth disqualified me. After I went through every other situation, every other station, I got my blood drawn, I did my urine test, my vision, my hearing, I did everything. The last thing I did is what disqualified me. Well, it was like the last thing. But one of the major last things I did disqualified me. She said if I would have had a letter from my orthodontist saying that I would be done before I shipped out, I would have been fine, I would have been golden. And I told her I don't have an orthodontist. She says, you're doing teeth work, right? I'm like, yes. Like, then you have an orthodontist. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't visit a dentist or an orthodontist. She's like, you have an orthodontist, correct? I'm like, I have gone to a dentist. She's like, exactly. So you have an orthodontist. I'm like, no, I don't. If I go to the dentist building where I go to do my dental work, which I barely do, then I get whatever dentist is available there. I don't have. She wanted a flippin' name for an orthodontist that did not exist. If I do teeth work, I have to have an orthodontist. I don't have a freaking orthodontist. I told her that. I said, I don't have an orthodontist. There's no orthodontist involved directly with me. So I told her, they scanned my teeth. They sent it to whoever they sent. I don't know who they sent it to. They sent the scan to whoever is their dentist or their person or whoever. He looks it over, and I told her if the case is minor enough that they think they can fix it, then they tell me they can fix it. I have a 4-month or 6-month plan. I have a 4-month plan. I told them they send the aligners, everything to me, and I do everything at home. That's all. I don't interact directly with an orthodontist. I don't call an orthodontist. I don't text an orthodontist. I don't send pictures to an orthodontist. I don't go visit an orthodontist. I don't do anything with an orthodontist. I don't have an orthodontist. I told her that. I told her I don't have an orthodontist. And she told me that because I do teeth work, I have one. She's telling me what I don't have. That's like me telling her, oh yeah, well why don't you go home to your 6 cats? And she can tell me that she doesn't have cats. She can tell me that she's allergic to cats. I said, no, you're a grouch, so you must own 6 freaking cats. And I insist her, and she has to accept the fact that I told her that she has 6 cats. She has to accept that fact that I told her that, and it has to be accurate because I said it to her. It was ridiculous. And I swear, if my dad or my mom or my, well, I don't know if I recruited, I don't know what he would have done, but I know if my dad had been there, because of the virus, parents aren't allowed to be there, recruiters weren't even allowed to be in the building. But if my dad was there and he would have heard this lady, oh my gosh, either they would have went around arguing verbally, or things would have gotten physical between those two. Because this lady is saying that I have one. I have something that I don't have. And she said, and she forced me to sign this paperwork that said I am disqualified because of this. And so I signed the paperwork. She explained to me that I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, there were so many words that wanted to come out of my mouth. But I didn't say it, any of them. And it ticks me off because when I was going to do my whole examination, I was thinking, she's going to be doing a mouth examination. Maybe I should just take out my aligners just so I don't have to maybe take them out when I get in there. If I would have just simply done that one freaking thing, I wouldn't have had this mess. I would have been disqualified. I would have been fine. Everything else was fine. Except for removable plastic in my mouth. So she told me that all I had to do is get a letter from an orthodontist saying that I'll be done with my treatment before I ship out, or I have to wait till my whole plan is over. So I either have to get a letter from an orthodontist who doesn't exist, or I have to wait, 7 months before I can go back in and do my MEPS again. Because I'm in my last month of my plan, but then I have a retainer for 6 months. My recruiter said he's going to try to get in contact with Smile Direct Club to see if I can get a letter. I doubt they're going to be able to give me a letter because there's no orthodontist that works with me directly that's directly overseeing me. Like, I don't go to see one. So I don't know what's going to go on. I don't know what's going to happen. Right now, I don't even know if I had the same job as I did when I first went. When I first went to MEPS, I had been reserved a special job. My recruiter made call after call after call after call to his higher ups to get me the combat documentation job, because the only ones I was interested in was that one and then canine handler. I couldn't get a canine handler, but he said that he got me my combat documentation. Now I don't even know if I'm going to get that. I swear if I have to go back through that hell all over again, and my recruiter says, I'm so sorry, but I couldn't get the job reserved for you again. I'm gonna just bawl. Because I'm gonna feel bad for my recruiter because he went through so much trouble to get me my job and then I can't even do it. And I'm gonna just straight up drop out. I'm probably not even gonna look into any other branches. So after I got done with this lady, and she made me said that she told me I was disqualified, and she made me sign the paperwork. The other doctor who was jumping in and out, there was a third doctor there, an actual Army medic doctor there, who was trying to give this kid his blood draw, and this other doctor person who was trying to figure out, who was trying her hardest to get me disqualified, kept bugging this other guy to get his opinion. So finally, he goes back and does his thing. The two ladies finish up with me. And he asks me if I did another type of vision test. I said, no, I haven't. So we went and we did it. I don't know, I was disqualified, so I don't know why I was going through the rest of my MEPS. But I did the other vision test. Basically, you have to look and see a bunch of 3D circles. Pick out which of one of three is 3D and popping off the screen. Then he gave me my form, told me to go to the medical desk, and then tell me where to go from there. So I went to the medical desk. They gave me a bunch of paperwork. Had to get to the Army recruiter, the Army office there. I'm pretty sure it basically said that I had been disqualified. And I walked into the office. One guy pointed me to where I was supposed to go. There was already one stack of papers that I'm pretty sure was the exact same thing. So I think someone else got disqualified. It was going into the Army. And so I handed it to him, and he was asking me a couple of questions, like if my recruiter knew, and I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I mentioned it to him. I mean, it wasn't like, we were coming back from taking my first ASVAB, and, I didn't tell the Army guy this, but we were coming back from my first ASVAB, and I told my recruiter, because we had stopped at Burger King, that I had clear aligners in, I had to go take them out before I could eat. He said that was cool, that was fine. So we don't know if he forgot or he forgot altogether, or he just forgot to put it in my paperwork. We don't know for sure. I'm sure he just totally forgot altogether, because it was a quick second, hey, I'm wearing clear liners, I gotta go take him out. And he said that's cool. And we're in a restaurant, so it's not like he could write it down in my paperwork file or whatever. So it's not his fault. I probably should have just asked him if my aligners, because I had to do paperwork before I went to MEPS that day, or before I went to the MEPS hotel that day. I should have just straight up asked him, hey, does my aligners count as braces? So I gave him my paperwork, and he sent me over to do my ASVAB. I took my ASVAB. They had me take this ridiculously long personality quiz. There's 174 questions. You only get 2 options. Some of them, basically, they're no other word but damning either way you go. You have to choose what's closer to your personality. Would you rather not work in a group or not listen to the wishes of your elders? Well, the Army sees that, and either, they want, you have to work in a group. My recruiter told me that, he told me about the personality quiz, and he told me that if there's one, they want you to lean towards, how you like being in a group. Well, do I say that, yeah, I disrespect the people who are older than me, or say, I hate working with other people? They want you to be able to work with other people, but in the Army, you have to be respectful of people. It was just, personality quiz was awful. I didn't even get through the whole quiz, because apparently the personality quiz is timed, which I didn't know about. But I took 2 hours to do my ASVAB, probably 2.5 hours to do my ASVAB, and then I was doing almost another 30-minute personality quiz, and I had this stupid, to describe my favorite job, my perfect job. But anyways, I was done. I signed out. There was only 3 kids left, which was the African American, the black girl, and then one other guy was in there. I got done with all my stuff. The kid I came with, I was getting my personality quiz when he got done. He left. He called, I think he called his recruiter, who called another recruiter to come and get him. So I got done. I walked out. The guy, who I gave my paperwork to, that said that I had been disqualified. He asked me if I had gotten my lunch yet, and I said no. He said, all right, here you go, here's your lunch. He said, it's a turkey sandwich. Is that okay? And I said, yeah, that's fine. Recruiter, he said the last name of the recruiter. I can't remember his last name. He said he's here. Like, all right. So I went out. I was just happy to be outside. I kind of made a joke. I'm like, fresh air, because you'd been inside a building since basically 5 o'clock in the freaking morning until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was awful, just awful. And so I loaded my stuff up. I got in. Basically, we drove home. A couple, like, I think 30 minutes into the ride, I'm like, I should probably text my mom that we're done. So I grabbed my phone out of my big bag, and I turned it on, and I had a couple texts from my mom, and then a couple texts from my recruiter. Apparently, so when I first did my ASVAB, I got a 51. I had so many days to take a confirmation test, but because of the virus, I couldn't take a confirmation test because MEPS was closed. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my recruiter's fault. It was something that we could not control. Not even MEPS could control a virus breaking out, a pandemic breaking out. So because of the pandemic, I couldn't take my confirmation test. So I had to retake my freaking ASVAB. Apparently, I scored so bad. I don't even know what I scored right now. I don't know what I scored. All I know is that I scored terribly. I told my mom multiple times, you never retake your ASVAB. Listen to my words. Don't retake your freaking ASVAB. Do whatever you have to do to stick with your ASVAB the first time you take it. Because 99.9% of people never score higher than their first ASVAB. You might be that 0.1% of people who score higher. If you are, congratulations. But no one ever scores higher than their first ASVAB. No one ever. So whatever it takes for you, get your confirmation done within the set amount of time. But like I said, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my recruiter's fault. It wasn't even MEP's fault. But because no one can control a pandemic. But I think, and I believe, that because of the pandemic, something that no one could control, I don't think I should have had to retake my ASVAB. I think when I went there, I should have just taken my confirmation test or my PICAT or whatever the freaking thing is called. I think I just should have been able to take my confirmation test. Because it wasn't fair to me that something happened that I couldn't control, that literally nobody could have controlled. Alright, pups, I'm done. I'm done with this video. You guys have heard what happened during MEPS. So, yeah. My advice, the only advice I could possibly have is get your ASVAB done, your confirmation test done within the set amount of time. Don't retake your ASVAB. For the love of everything, don't retake your ASVAB. And if you have clear aligners, before you take your physical, like where they examine your mouth, take them out. Just take them out. Like, just don't even try to tell them, well, they come out or I'll be done. They're not going to take your freaking word for it. They're just not. But I mean, this is my experience at the Portland MEPS. You might go to a MEPS in California or Colorado or Texas, and they might have the world's nicest doctors who are like, oh, okay, you say your treatment's going to be done at this time, and you know it's going to be done at this day. You're good. You're golden. But all the way up till that time when I had to go talk to that doctor, I was all like, oh, wow. And people say MEPS is the worst day in your career, in your whole military career. I'm like, this is, except for being, stuck with a needle, this all isn't too bad. All this is fine. But after that whole ordeal, it literally took them probably 30 minutes to an hour to figure out what they were going to do for me. And I was new. They had never dealt with clear aligners before there. Because, like I said before, the pediatrician was telling the doctor that it's not on the paperwork, so I should be fine. I'm going to be done, and I know I'm going to be done before I ship out, which is what they want. They need to make sure you will be done with, even if you have metal braces, they need to make sure they'll be off before you ship out. They don't care if you have braces then at MEPS. As long as you don't have them before you ship to basic, you're good. But I found out that the two people she had on the phone, one of them, the guy who actually spoke flippin' English, I guess he was the one who types up the medical papers and whatnot. And she was telling him that because of what was going on with me, he needed to update his paperwork to include Invisalign and clear aligners. So, technically? No, not even technically. Literally. I got disqualified for nothing. I don't know if misdisqualified is the right word, but I was unfairly disqualified. I had not broken any of the rules. I hadn't lied to anyone. I didn't have braces or a permanent retainer. I didn't have any of those. I had clear aligners. They're not braces. Okay, they're not braces. They're not metal. They're not glued to my teeth. They're not cemented to my teeth. And they're not permanent. Yes, aligners are like braces, but they're not. I can take them out. Like the pediatrician said, well, she can take them out so they're not braces. The pediatrician said that these are not braces because I can take them out at my own discretion whenever I want. I think this other doctor was just having a bad day. She was tired. She had been up since gosh knows who when. She was just tired. She wanted to be done with it. She only had 3 girls to go through, and my paperwork was taking the longest because of my aligners. I think she just wanted to put the big old stamp on that said disqualified and send me out the door without even getting my side of the story. But I'm pretty sure this pediatrician who kept telling her that it's okay, that I should be able to keep going, that I shouldn't be disqualified. But, oh my gosh, I just keep repeating everything I'm saying. So, take your aligners out, you guys. If you have aligners, just take them out. Depending on what day you're on. Because I noticed that if I take my aligners out, if I'm halfway through the week or almost to the end of the week for my aligners, even if I leave them out all day, I can pop them back in. They'll be a little tight, but they'll be fine. Just leave them out the whole day. Just take them off, put them in your little retainer case, put them in your bag or in your purse or whatever. Just don't wear them at MEPS or before you have to do your mouth examination. Just take them out. Just straight up take them out. I used to everything right now. Like, I could literally go back in time and do one thing over and I would take my freaking aligners out. Even if it's just for the examination when she had to do my whole examination. Even if it was just for that. Because no one else noticed. No one else in the entire building noticed. I mean, I was, a foot away from somebody when she was doing my blood draw, and she didn't notice. No one knew, except for the pediatrician when she did my mouth examination, who then told the other doctor. Alright, pups, I'm done with this video.